leading 3 classes while I'm attending a class. I am teaching adult people who've never received student training. I have a light worker course where I'm training adult light workers. I have a class where I'm teaching teachers. I am in a group with the world's smartest geniuses in the world where I am their peer and also their student, and they are also my students. And I'm in this group with the world minds. I'm just going to call them world minds. That's it. We're the world minds. There is no one smarter in the world than us in this group. We're like the super geniuses of the world. We're all equal. We're all peers. And we're all the students of each other. That's an environment. I'm talking to the teachers of the teachers, and that's an environment. I'm talking to light workers, and I'm talking to students who are adults who've never, ever received training. And I got these 4 perspectives, and I'm going, boy, I have a lot of data right now, and it's just like accumulating, and I got to talk about this. So here's the situation. I went into the teachers group with my own experience of the world minds, and I'm going, okay. And I'm talking to these teachers. And I know that I've got my students in there watching and listening. And I'm explaining this to the teachers. Quality. It's the very first conversation any of my masters had to me. I had this conversation with them. I said, my masters were here. And then there were teachers here. They're not the same thing. I had philosophers here and I got teachers here. Teachers are toxic, and that's in my mind. Now, if you're a humble or an honorable teacher, then I consider you a philosopher or an aspiring philosopher. So in my mind, teacher is toxic and abusive. And in fact, philosophers will not use that word. We won't use the word. I am a philosopher. And I'm looking at the situation, and I have had masters. And that's an entirely different type of teaching and instruction. And then there's teachers. Teachers enable, they talk down to you, they're condescending. It's all about their ego and power trip. It's not about your education. Masters empower you. They are, there's the standard, and you come up to it. Teachers don't set standards. They just bully. Masters set the standard. I had 2 of my masters give me this massive, this is it. Philosophers sit below you and talk up to you because they preserve the equal footing. Completely different experience. And of my masters, 4 of them were philosophers. 2 of them were my master philosophers. So I'm looking at it going, whoa. And I'm over in the world minds. And we're sitting there. It's not an argument. Oh, good God, we would never argue. We are analyzing the truth and swapping physics to figure out, of all of this, where's the common denominator? So we're using math to determine the common denominator of physics to analyze the true physics. Like, that's going on over there. All right, let's put all of our physics together. We got somebody from CERN. We've got a world-class mathematician. We've got my brain, and we're all putting all of the physics together. All right, let's analyze physics. Let's see what's the true physics, and let's see what's crap. And it's amazing. And we're just comparing. We have 3 rows of data from person A, the CERN physicist, from my brain, and then from the mathematician. And we all just, there's all of our data, and we all just analyze the data looking for the common denominators, going, fascinating, where's the common denominators? That's learning. That's learning. The data speaks for itself. We know how to accumulate the data. It's wonderful. God, I love that group. And then over here, I've got my teachers. And I'm like, all right, aspiring philosophers. First rule of thumb, quality. We're going to talk about quality, because if you don't set the standard, then they will never have that standard. And this is the difference between poor and wealthy. Standards and quality is going to be the difference between why you're poor and why you are wealthy. That's why you're poor, is because you have no standards. Nothing else. No one talked to you about standards. So then I came over to this section. And as I'm talking, and I had another conversation with my students this morning where I went, oh, this is why the masters came in so strict on day one of, these are the standards, this is how you learn. And now I understand. And I went, oh, I never did that. Oh, this is why they did it. Because you have to be taught how to learn. I had a year with Plato, Pythagoras, and my master. And it was a year of them throwing the book at me going, this is how you learn. This is how you be a student. Okay, got it. And it was a privilege to be in the presence of those minds. And they gave me the tools required to challenge them. But you have to be quiet to listen. So then I go over to the teachers group. And I know my students are listening and learning and watching. And I'm giving this information to my teachers. And I'm explaining to them, this is the consequence if this is not done. And I'm explaining the consequence, which is literally our entire culture and society. And how we have now a bunch of immature adults who have no idea how to be a student. Hence, social media forums. And I'm going, wow. That's all it is. Social media forums exist because no one was taught how to be a student. And now I see everybody learning this in the future because this is going to be integrated into schools. And over 10 to 20 years, social media forums and trolls will be gone because we'll have this knowledge. How to be a student. Because when you learn how to be a student, you walk away going, oh my God, I'm afraid to not ask questions. Not afraid to not ask questions, but it's a quality and a standard that you hold yourself to for the next 30 years because you want to make sure you have earned the right to be a master before you take on that role. And in fact, when you do, now you get the scale after 30 years of it, of learning how to teach while also learning at the same time. That's a skill because you love learning so much that you never want to walk away from it. So it's like, how do I take that with me? Even right now, I'm learning. I'm speaking and I'm going, how am I doing this? How's this going? Is this the right skills? Are these the right words? Am I saying what I need to say? How's my tone? Am I needing to pull that? Am I gentle enough? Am I too firm? Like I am going through so much analytical data right now because it's constant assessment because I'm constantly learning. And it's like, okay, how do I transfer this data? What's the first letter? What's the order of operations? And I got seven masters that I can mimic from and go, okay, what did they do? So now I'm looking at my 7 masters and I'm analyzing going, okay, what were the common denominators? Quality. Excuse me. Oh my God. Yes. Quality. Quality is what did it. So quality. And then from quality, it went over to focus and priority. Setting the standard and then deciding on the priority. Prioritize it. This is, by the way, how you do organizing. And then after that, okay, logic. Socratic method. Oh, Socratic method was first. We studied Socratic method. You don't open your mouth unless you're asking a question. And then now we're going to give you the tools of logic, formal argument, and debate. Now, once you master the skills of logic, formal argument, and debate, then you're allowed to talk. But you had to first get that into you. So it was extraordinary. Plato does this. Socrates does this. My masters did this. So you walk into a classroom. Okay, observe, silent, listen, shut up, and listen. Okay, yes, got it. Lesson number 1. We're going to talk about quality. All right. We're going to talk about focus and you prioritizing. All right. You're going to talk about observing and listening and watching. Okay, got it. Observing. Now you're going to ask a question. If you want to open your mouth, it's going to be Socratic method. Got it. Which means everything out of my mouth had to be in the form of a question. It was Jeopardy in real life. And then I got my logic education. And it was, this is formal argument and debate. I had to learn the rules of proper argument and debate with logical proof. Now, once I had all of that, I took a step back and went, oh, I know how to actually argue like a human being now. And from that moment on, I was 15. From that moment on, I knew how to have a proper conversation. I knew how to have a conversation without getting emotional. I knew how to have a conversation without putting any emotion into it. I knew how to have a conversation without abusing people. I knew how to have a conversation to discuss about any topic. Suddenly, any topic can be opened up. Oh, I talk about some really deep shit, and I do so without any emotion. And it was this, it's the maturity. It's this whole, what's the difference between the world minds group, the teachers knew how to learn. Oh, good God, they knew how to learn. They knew how to ask questions. They knew how to sit down. They knew how to focus. They knew how to use their minds. World minds, oh, we got that down. We knew how to take that data, compare all the data, and then sit there and analyze and look for the common denominators. Where are we matched? Because that's the truth. And we saw 3 forms of data. We were looking at null physics. We're still talking about the name for that because 2 of us are not in agreement that it should be called null physics, but okay. And that's what I mean right there. That's not a common denominator, which means it's not true. So we talked about null physics. We talked about quantum physics. We talked about CERN physics. We talked about quantum mechanics. And then we talked about my physics. And we just threw all down and we compared and we went, oh, look at all the common denominators. Yeah, that's how world minds do it. Oh, look, math speaks for itself. The math has spoken. We don't vote. Math votes. Math gets to vote. And then when the math votes, all right, we're good. That was amazing. That was like the best conversation in the world. Let's put all the physics together and look at what the math says. And the math will decide. The math is your judgment day. It was wonderful. So that's going on over there. In the meanwhile, I've got these teachers absolutely like listening and they're learning. And I'm like, all right, great. And then I've got students, adults who've never been taught how to learn. And the difference is night and day. It's night and day. And I'm just going, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. We've got a bunch of children who never grew up. We've got a bunch of children who never learned how to learn. And that's the difference between an adult, a mature person, and an immature person. Is a mature person knows how to learn. Once you know how to learn, that's self-teaching. Learning how to learn is self-teaching. It's independence. It's disabling if you don't know how to do it. And now I'm sitting here looking, going, wow. Now you've got people who are mature. They know how to learn. And they know how to, this is part of logic, they know how to assess when something is worth listening to. Now, here's the thing. Let's go over to business. In business, we learn that our mind is our asset. So the more crap you have in your head, if it's garbage, well, your mind, your asset is now worth nothing. If you increase the quality, back to quality, if we increase the quality of what you learn, now you're increasing the quality of your asset. Now your asset is going up in value. So now I'm sitting here looking at this going, this is fascinating. Real fascinating. And I'm still sitting here trying to explain the experience of being a student over here with world minds while we're all learning from Mother Nature, because she's teaching us over there. Mother Nature is the teacher over there. But you don't get to allow Mother Nature to teach you until you learn to listen to her, which is learning how to learn. And suddenly, and this is what you're doing. Learning is the science of communicating with Mother Nature. So we got all these scientists who are learning how to, well, we've learned how to communicate. We know how to communicate with Mother Nature. We've got that down. That's what we're doing. That's what science is. We're communicating with Mother Nature. And then we've got all these teachers who are learning the skill and we're mastering it. And I've got these, and it's a spectrum, people. It's a spectrum. We've got this massive spectrum of all the people who don't know how to learn, the people who are aspiring teachers, aspiring philosophers, humble teachers who are learning. And then we've got the world minds. And this is the best part. The world minds, Mother Nature's in charge. Oh, she's in charge. Like I said, it was the math that was doing the work. We're like, okay, well, this is my data. This is your data. This is your data. Let's compare notes. Oh, Mother Nature says this. Okay, thank you, Mom. And there you go. I call her Mom. So there you go. There it is. And it's a completely, and that's where we're trying to get to. And I'm going, whoa, that's what we should be doing. Now, I went through vigorous training to get to that point, which I'm now training these teachers to get to that point. And now I've got these students, and I'm like, all right, you want to know how to do what I do? You want to better your life? But this isn't it. I'm going, we have to be taught how to learn from Mother Nature. We got to learn how to listen to her. And it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary how neglected this is. And I was expecting to require 4 different lessons. I was expecting 4 different, I got light workers, I got teachers, I got students. I was expecting 3 different classes. And now I'm looking at it going, this is the same class. These are the same class. This is Introduction to Learning. And it's, so now and here's the best part. Parents need this too. This is cultivation. This is cultivation, people. This is cultivation. This is how you learn how to communicate with another human being. And it's this mind-blowing, like, whoa, this is making me rethink everything I thought. And the key piece here is that world mind group that I'm in, where the learning is completely different. And it's amazing because we're teaching each other, but we're not teaching each other. It's us using translations to get to what Mother Nature is trying to say. And we've deciphered her physics. We've deciphered your physics. We've deciphered her physics. And now we're using your math to figure out what she's saying. But we know how to read it. So now we're going, oh, that's what Mother Nature, oh, there it is. Okay. Truth has spoken. And now we're going, all right, guys, we got some answers. But as soon as we get over to pass them on, we get, oh, science is wrong. And that's all I have to say about that. May the kindest of words always find you.